Hey, how's it going, guys? Dan Kitajima back again with another episode of How to Grow Your Insurance Agency. Today, I want to talk to you guys about office space and some strategies behind where you operate your insurance agency. Um, this subject came to my mind right now because my office lease here at my current office is about to expire next year. So I'm in the middle of figuring out what to do. Some of the options are obviously stay in this current office, expand to a bigger one, or move into a smaller one. So all those options are there, and I'm pretty sure you guys know what direction I would like to go with because the YouTube channel is called How to Grow Your Insurance Agency. So a little bit of a backstory. Before this office here, I was in a different office back in 2017. 2017, I was in a different office. It was less than 2,000 square feet. It was $2,000 a month. So that was a great deal there. 2,000 square feet. It was in Old Town Tustin, not too far from here. And it was a great space because it provided me more room. Obviously, before that, it was a smaller office. My first office ever was like 700 square feet. So it was a bigger office, so it helped me get up to about 7 employees, 2,000 square feet. It was great rent too because it was during the recession is when I leased it, so I got a great deal on it at a full service lease. And the biggest thing was there was enough space there for me to grow. Some of the things that wasn't that great about the office building was that it was a Class C building. So um, when we needed it the most during the hottest days of the year, AC wouldn't work. So that wasn't that great. It was actually terrible because it would be really hot and the AC wouldn't work because if the hotter it is, the less reliable it was. There was a major ant problem there too. So ants all over. We had potlucks and we'd leave food a little bit, and then just the next day, just ants all over the office. And this is not the office's fault, but I used to bring my dog there, and my puppy at the time, and there would be pee stains all over the carpet, so it wasn't a great look. And she would also bark at our clients, thinking she was protecting us from them, but we wanted clients to come in, but she didn't think so. So she was like a bodyguard dog. But yeah, that was the office situation back then. And then my lease came up, and then I wanted to grow my insurance agency. So I looked into bigger offices, and at that time I took a big gamble there, a big risk there, because now here I moved into this office from that office space. This office space currently we have about 3,500 square feet. It's on the 10th floor of a 16 um, story building. It's a Class A building. It's in Orange County. And with parking and everything included, it's about 13,000 per month. So it went from 2,000 to 13,000 a month. So that was a big move for me. Looking back at it, it was a scary time because I really didn't know, how I was gonna do anything really. I hadn't had anything figured out. I didn't know how to generate enough leads for, to keep enough staff busy. I didn't know how to recruit enough staff to fill up the space. Now, the desks are getting filled up now, so which is great. But when we first moved in there, we only needed half this office space. So I didn't have anything figured out really. But the only thing I did know is that I wanted to grow. So that's really what happened here. And then now I'm at the crossroads again. Next year, it's going to be 5 years since I moved in here. So now I'm trying to plan, okay, what type of office space do I need? And, thinking about my experience back then, I think maybe will help me make the right decision this time too. It's another thing I want to share with you guys when it comes to office space. I saw a meme recently, or just a post on Instagram, where it talks about a shark being in a fish tank. And when you put a shark in a fish tank, because of the space that it's able to grow in and the environment that's living in, it could only grow up to a certain amount. But if it was out in the ocean, I think the thing said like, you could only grow up to 8 inches because, in a fish bowl, it's like it doesn't have enough space to grow. But if you put it in the ocean, it grows up to 8 feet. So that's kind of the way I look at office space is, the bigger it is, it just expands your vision. I mean, it's just well, maybe you could have some age producers work remote, and there's a lot of different strategies when it comes to how you use office space these days. But I've always liked being in the office. I always like being able to communicate with staff efficiently, and just being able to know what's going on at all times, and having one location. That's kind of like, my strategy behind, growing your insurance agency, just one location, have everybody come into your office. So everyone's strategy could be different, but I do believe that having a bigger office, a nicer office too, there's going to be some benefits. Let's go over them a little bit. Okay. I will say that, one of them is that you're going to be able to retain your employees. I think that's a big one. I always talk about that, how to retain your top employees. Because who wouldn't want to go to an office and be at a nice place with 24-hour security, or just with a nice view here. We have just have like a sense of pride, or just this is where I work. It's in a nicer building, and I just feel good about going into work every day. So employee retention, I think it plays a part of that. Nicer furniture, it's just a good office environments. It's a big deal because they spend a lot of time at work. Number two, I would say, is employee, recruiting. I think recruiting is already a very difficult task we have as agency owners, and having a nicer office is going to help attract employees, potential employees that may want to join your team. So I would say it helps with employee recruiting. What else does it help? It just helps out with your vision. Your vision, it expands your creativity, makes you think like, okay, how am I gonna fill these seats? What type of agency I'm gonna have? Because space is necessary. Well, again, if you have people, agents working remotely, that's not really my specialty there. But the bigger the office, it makes you kind of think like, well, because you don't want to have a big office with nobody in there, you're going to have to think creatively. Okay, how am I going to recruit? What type of lead source are they going to be busy with? What kind of tasks are they going to have? And just really expands your creativity. I will also say it helps with social media marketing, and just being able to make you know take nicer pictures and show clients that, hey, we are working in a professional office environment. And social media helps with recruiting as well. So being able to show what your work environment is, I think that's another plus, and that's an important one these days, because the digital presence, I would say, is even more important than the physical location. So some different strategies there. I do believe that some of the retail agencies do well in different, but I think the world is going different direction there, where the digital presence is more important than the physical store sign. So those are some things to think about. I haven't even talked about the differences between renting and owning. To me, I like the renting way because, well, first of all, I need a capital to grow my agency, rather than spending on a down payment on a property, which doesn't bring you any cash flow right away. And it also gives me a chance to expand too, because next office I'm looking into getting from 3,000 going 3,500 to possibly 6,000. So it just gives me a little bit more flexibility of expanding within a short term, 3 to 5 years leases. So I just like the flexibility. And if I don't like this building, and I am looking at different offices, employees working, moving to different locations, maybe I want, office space to be a little bit more closer to some of them. So it gives me just more flexibility. So the renting is kind of the way I've done it, but put in the comments below, if you guys have any thoughts about owning versus renting office space. Is bigger better? Sometimes people have overspent on just a really nice fancy looking office, but nothing left over for marketing. So that's something that I see some agents kind of doing, is they have a great office, they have a great staff already, but they don't have the marketing figured out. So sometimes you're thinking, okay, well, some of the budget should have gone into marketing. And that's kind of how I did it. Is in the beginning, I spent all my money on marketing rather than the office space because I just felt that was more important at that time. But as the agency grew and I figured out the marketing systems, then the office space is definitely a big factor in what your agency is going to end up being like, how big it's going to be. So that's just something that's on my mind right now. I want to share with you guys some of my strategies behind where you're going to operate your business. It's a big deal. So hope this helps. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and put in the comments anything that you feel makes a decision, plays a decision in what type of office to operate your agency in. Until next time, thanks guys. Let's get it. Stay hungry.